The internet never sleeps, and this week it's wide awake. Atlanta's timelines are on fire. The gossip blogs are choking on smoke, and the name on everybody's lips is Yandy Smith Harris. A mysterious audio clip hit the streets like a grenade, and whispers are claiming that the voice in question belongs to her husband, Mendeecees. The conversation, let's just say it had the kind of late-night tone that turns curiosity into scandal. Now, whether it's real or fake, one thing is clear: this little piece of audio has turned the so-called power couple into the storyline nobody can escape, and to make things even messier, none other than Tasha K has slid into the center of the storm, adding gasoline to an already raging fire. The saga didn't begin with headlines, it started in the shadows. Yandy was minding her business, moving through her carefully curated routine, business ventures, Instagram posts, family, content. And then out of nowhere, like lightning in a dry forest, the clip dropped. It wasn't even from a big platform at first, just one of those faceless accounts that lives on midnight tea and shaky receipts. But in the age of reposts, a whisper can turn into a scream within hours. The audio spread like wildfire. You could hear voices, laughter, and remarks that made people lean forward, press replay, and raise their eyebrows. For some, the male voice carried a tone that felt familiar. And before Yandy even had the chance to blink, her mentions were flooded, fans tagging her, blogs dissecting the sound, strangers demanding answers to questions she hadn't even processed herself. Now, Yandy isn't new to chaos. She knows the game, she knows the media cycle, and she knows when silence can look like guilt. But according to those close to her, this wasn't just another gossip blog rumor. It hit differently. People described her scrolling through her phone, jaw tight, tapping her nails on the table in that way she does when she's calculating her next move. She didn't clap back immediately. She didn't rant on live. Instead, she sat in that dangerous pause between rage and strategy, because in her world, every reaction can be spun into another headline. And then came the twist: the name Tasha K entered the chat. If gossip is a fire, Tasha is a matchstick. She didn't say much, but the way she mentioned the audio, the way her tone dropped just slightly, it was enough to make the whole internet leaning closer. Suddenly, what had been whispers on messy blogs became the conversation of the week. Fans went digging. They pulled up old interviews, old arguments, even freeze-framed clips from Love and hip-hop. Comments like, "Look how she avoided eye contact last month," started going viral. Every side-eye and awkward silence was now painted as a clue, as if the show itself had been foreshadowing this mess all along. When Yandy finally broke her silence, she did it with precision. Sitting across from Kendra on a podcast, she was calm but cutting. When asked directly if any of it was true, Yandy didn't fumble, didn't laugh nervously. She looked straight ahead and said one word: no. But it wasn't a soft kind of no. It was the kind of no that comes with an edge, with irritation, with exhaustion, like she was sick of playing defense in a game she didn't even sign up for. And when the co-host pressed her further, insisting that fans swore it sounded like Mendeecees' voice, Yandy's reply cut through the room: people hear what they want to hear. The internet loves connecting dots that don't exist. With that, she flipped the conversation to her business ventures, treating the allegations like lint she could brush off her jacket. Meanwhile, Mendeecees wasn't hiding in the shadows. He addressed the storm too, but in his own way. With a smirk and a laugh, he brushed it off, saying he didn't even know the women in question and claiming people were just bored. For some fans, his nonchalance was confidence. For others, it was arrogance. They wanted outrage, they wanted fire, they wanted a man defending his wife with passion. Instead, they got cool detachment, and that split the internet straight down the middle. But this was only the beginning, because just as the couple thought they might be able to ride it out, another audio surfaced. This one was rougher, grainier, more secretive, and this time, you could hear a female voice alongside the male one. That changed everything. Suddenly, the theories weren't just about Mendeecees, they were about her. Who was this woman? A stranger, a friend? Or worse, someone close to Yandy? Hashtags popped up overnight, influencers rushed to post their hot takes, and fans started spinning wild conspiracy webs. And through it all, Yandy did what she does best: she posted. Sunglasses indoors, sipping tea, caption, "Stay blessed," one post, 2 words, but millions of interpretations. Some fans praised her for staying unbothered, others accused her of dodging, and just like that, the fire doubled in size. The second link didn't just shake things up, it detonated the internet. Rough audio, static in the background, and just enough words to make people swear they were listening to something scandalous. This wasn't polished receipts, it was raw, messy, and unfiltered. And the fact that a woman's voice was now tangled in the mix, that flipped the narrative upside down. Suddenly, blogs weren't just asking if Mendeecees was the man in the clip, they were asking, who is she? Every blog, every fan page, every messy YouTube breakdown tried to piece together her identity. Some pointed fingers at random faces from old photos, others dragged up cast members from seasons past, while a few whispered it was someone way too close to home. And then, in true love and hip-hop fashion, Yandy decided to clap back. But not in a press release, not in an interview, no. She did it the way only reality stars know how, with a picture that spoke louder than any paragraph. Sunglasses indoors, lips glossed, sipping tea. Captioned simply, "Stay blessed," a silent dagger to the rumor mill. The internet split instantly. Half her followers praised her for staying unbothered, calling her a queen who refused to bow to drama. The other half accused her of ducking accountability, claiming silence only confirmed the rumors. But behind the polished Instagram post, insiders whispered that the house wasn't as calm as it looked, according to close friends. Yandy and Mendeecees had been butting heads behind closed doors. Yandy wanted him to stand up publicly, to defend their marriage with the same passion the internet was tearing it down. But Mendeecees? He thought silence was power. He thought letting gossip burn itself out was the smartest move. And that difference, in strategy, it wasn't just a disagreement, it was gasoline on an already open flame. Then, as if scripted for maximum chaos, Tasha K doubled down. She went live, teasing that there was more to come and hinting at sources close to the couple who'd been feeding her information. That one statement alone kept her followers refreshing their feeds like addicts, waiting for their next fix. Fans weren't just asking if the voice was Mendeecees, they were now asking, who around Yandy is betraying her? Was it a friend, a castmate, someone in her team? Old grudges, old feuds, old arguments from seasons past suddenly resurfaced, rebranded as clues. Every shady emoji, every cryptic tweet, every side-eye moment from the reunion shows was pulled out of the vault like evidence in a trial. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get any messier, screenshots leaked. Alleged DMs between Mendeecees and another woman. Now, the messages weren't explicit, but they had just enough flirty undertones to send social media into a frenzy. Were they real? Were they fabricated? Nobody knew for sure. But nobody cared either, because by then the drama had taken on a life of its own. Blogs connected the dots between the DMs and the audio, framing it like the missing puzzle. Peace. Peace. Fans went wild. Supporters of Yandy flooded her comments with "Leave him sis," while his defenders doubled down on calling it fake. Yandy's response was subtle, but sharp. She posted a photo of her hand resting on a closed journal, captioned, "Some things ain't for the internet." It was cryptic, layered, and cut like a knife. Some thought it was aimed at her husband, others thought it was a message to her haters. But what it really did was send the gossip cycle into overdrive. Because with Yandy, silence isn't silence, it's strategy. When the interview finally dropped, the internet didn't just watch, it exploded. The blurred-out figure who had been teased for weeks revealed herself within the first 2 minutes. And the face that appeared wasn't just some random stranger. It was someone fans had seen before. Someone who had once been close enough to Yandy and Mendeecees to show up in old photos, tagged posts, and reunion episodes. Her words were calculated, slow, and dripping with the kind of detail that makes you sit up and clutch your phone tighter. She claimed the audio clip was only a taste, that there were more recordings she was holding back out of respect for the kids, and then she painted a story of private meetings, late-night calls, and moments that could easily be spun into scandal. The reaction was instant. Half the internet praised her for speaking her truth, calling her brave. The other half ripped her apart, calling her a cloud chaser, dragging up her messy history with Yandy as proof this was nothing but revenge. But no matter which side you were on, one fact was undeniable: the story had grown too big to be ignored. Body language experts started posting breakdown videos of Yandy and Mendeecees' recent appearances, pointing out every side glance, every forced smile, every inch of space between them. Even memes turned their marriage into a battleground, with fans choosing sides like it was a finale episode. Yandy wasn't having it. Hours after the interview, she went live, her tone ice cold, her words sharp enough to slice through the noise. She called the interview a circus act, and shaded the woman for suddenly remembering every detail like it happened yesterday. She didn't waste time defending each allegation, she dismissed it as beneath her, making it clear she wasn't going to let gossip rewrite her marriage, her fire, her defiance. It gave fans the viral clapback they'd been waiting for. Meanwhile, Mendeecees kept it simple. A black screen with the words, "Believe what you want," that was it. No video, no emotion, just a digital shrug, and the response polarizing. Some followers applauded him for not feeding the beast, while others blasted him for leaving Yandy to fight alone. His silence became its own scandal, with people debating whether it was strength or guilt, and as if the flames weren't high enough, Tasha K played her ace card. She released snippets of muffled voicemails that hinted at deeper layers, still hidden in the shadows. She didn't confirm, she didn't deny, but she gave just enough to keep her audience hooked, promising the story wasn't finished by now. The situation wasn't even about the truth anymore, it was about control. Yandy and Mendeecees weren't just fighting rumors, they were fighting a whole narrative machine. A beast that grows every time a new post, a new comment, a new leak hits the timeline, and yet, through the smoke and fire, they stood together, spotted at an airport, holding hands, no entourage, no cameras, just one paparazzi snap that reignited the entire debate. Was it love? Was it performance? Nobody knew. But everybody had an opinion. And that's the truth about this saga. It's no longer just about what happened. It's about what people believe, what they want to believe, and how fast the internet can twist whispers into headlines. So here's a question for you. Do you think the audio was a smoking gun? Or just another case of the internet inventing a scandal where none existed? Because one thing is for sure, the story isn't finished, not by a long shot, and in the world of love and hip-hop, the next twist is always one leak away.